During one of our last ACH trainings, something really peculiar happened, which I love seeing. So the way that we set it up and we do our trainings, we have one therapist, one client, and I'm sort of the coach coaching the therapist and the client through this. So the students are learning as they're doing it. I don't believe in the whole theory sitting there with textbooks and all that sort of stuff, but just getting the practical things out of the way. And what happened was, I can't remember what the problem was, but the student had a breakthrough. They had this big breakthrough. And the resource they found going through the therapy and the trance and all the stuff we taught them how to do was something like, I'm just going to be happy. Okay. And I could see this when this happened. It's always quite funny. The therapist, we wrapped that session up and the therapist said to me, well, that wasn't that cool. Like, my client's just going to be happy. Like, Scott, how is that going to help my client? Like, is that a big enough breakthrough? Do I need to see them again? And I always respond like this. And this is for all therapists and hypnotherapists out there. Don't judge your client's resource. I think for a lot of therapists, when they're doing the session, they want this big whiz-bang breakthrough with all the fireworks and the tears and the emotion. You know, that whole thing where a client says, you've just changed my life in a session. We're so busy looking for that and we miss what's actually happened. We disregard something so small, like if a client says, well, I'm just going to smile at people from now on, or I'm just going to spend 30 minutes per day walking my dog and that's going to help change my life. And we look at that as therapists and go, well, that's not that exciting. If that was me, I wouldn't like that. But now what are you doing? You're judging a client's resource. So whatever your client comes up with as far as a resource, which is the insight into the problem, the new thing they're going to do, don't judge it. Whether it's small, good, bad, or ugly, or so minuscule that you think that can't be that good, where's the big breakthrough? Don't judge it. Because here's the thing, it's not about you. It's not what you think. It's not your resource. It's not you telling a client what resource to have. It's up to the client. We know they heal themselves. But if you start judging the resource and you say, no, that can't be it, and you try and force them to this big firework resource you want them to have, and all in all, that was the thing that would actually change their life. You've now disregarded their problem and you've disregarded the result they could have had. So don't judge their resource. If it doesn't sound good to you, who cares? If what they want to do as far as tasking doesn't sound good to you, who cares? If a client's outcome is so small and so boring, for lack of better words, who cares? As long as your client's happy with it, that's all that matters, guys, okay? So don't judge their resource. Don't go looking for this whole, my client was in trance, drawing on themselves, having a regression of visualization at the same time, big breakthrough, body was twitching, because if you're too busy looking for that, you're now forcing a client, we talked about this before, you're now forcing a client to have trance, therapy, and a breakthrough the way that you want them to have it, okay? And that's a lot of ego. So take a step back, whatever resource your client comes up with, give them a thumbs up, tell them that's awesome, move on to your next client, guys. Enjoy.